The International Olympic Committee is forcing Ukrainian athletes to ignore what is happening in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Putin's team is talking about possible contacts with Macron. My name is Albina Pidhirnyak. More news coming up. Ukrainian athlete Władysław Heraskevich wasn't allowed to wear a helmet with images of killed Ukrainian athletes at 2026 Olympics. It feels like Ukrainians are being pushed to act as if nothing is happening.
Hello. Today there will be a slightly different video and with a slightly different mood. Today I want to talk about the helmet in which I am going to perform at the Olympic Games. This is a helmet with images of dead Ukrainian athletes who, some of them defended you and me, some of them died from Russian shelling. Among them there are representatives of summer sports, winter sports. Among them are Olympians, members of the so-called Olympic family. Among them is Dmitry Sharpa, with whom we competed together in the same team at the Olympic Youth Games in 2016. Among them is the medalist of the Youth Olympic Games Maxim Golinichev, a boxer. Among them, unfortunately, there are a lot of children who died from Russian shelling. Among them are people who developed veteran sports. I will compete for them. I race for them. It is an honor for me to wear these images and show the world what price Ukraine pays every day in this bloody war. Let us remember our heroes and remember those whose lives were taken by Russia.
President of Ukraine Vladimir Zelensky also commented on the position of the International Olympic Committee. He thanked the Ukrainian athlete for his stance.
Displayed on his helmet are portraits of Ukrainian athletes killed by Russia. Figure skater Dmytro Sharpa, who was killed in combat near Bakhmut. 19-year-old biathlete Yevhen Malishev, who was killed by occupying forces near Kharkiv, as well as other Ukrainian athletes whose lives were taken by Russia's war. I express my gratitude to the flag bearer of Ukraine's national team at the Winter Olympics, Władysław Heraskevich, for reminding the world of the true cost of our struggle. This truth cannot be considered inappropriate, uncomfortable, or dismissed as a political act at sporting events. It is a clear reminder to the international community of what modern Russia represents. It also underscores the global role of sport and the historical mission of the Olympic movement. To stand for peace and the preservation of human life, Ukraine remains committed to these principles. Russia demonstrates the opposite.
Volodymyr Zelensky said that the United States is proposing that the sides end the war by June. Some Western media see this as pressure, including pressure on Ukraine. Meanwhile, in Russia, they continue to talk about agreements supposedly reached in Anchorage.
Russia and the United States after Anchorage should have moved to broad cooperation. But in practice, it is the opposite, Sergei Lavrov said. And he also said that the United States itself is now not ready for its proposals on Ukraine, which were made in Anchorage. But does this mean that the spirit of Anchorage is already dead? And what does this phrase, spirit of Anchorage, that you and the minister used mean in general?
Indeed, there are a number of understandings that were reached in Anchorage, which were voiced on the eve of Anchorage during the arrival of Mr. Witkoff here. And after that, there was a need for a summit. Therefore, this set of understandings that has been achieved, it is the spirit of Anchorage. We do not want to go into details. We are still convinced that it is in the interests of the cause to conduct these conversations behind closed doors, not to engage in any kind of public megaphone diplomacy in this case. But it is obvious that these understandings that were reached in Anchorage, they are cornerstones. And it is these understandings that can move the settlement process forward and allow for a breakthrough.
And what condition are they in now, can you assess?
The work continues.
Macron was heard in the Kremlin, and now Peskov has also said that a conversation at the highest level is supposedly possible.
Today, Emmanuel Macron said that Paris has restored contacts, channels of communication with Moscow at the technical level. Can the Kremlin confirm this? Are there any contacts directly between the Kremlin and the Élysée Palace? And did some other European states follow the example of France?
Indeed, there have been contacts, and we can confirm this, which, if desired and necessary, will help to quickly establish a dialogue at the highest level. So far, we have not received any indications that this desire exists, although we have paid attention to Mr. Macron's statement about the need to establish relations with Russia. We are impressed by such statements. We have long said that reducing our relations to a state of zero is illogical, counterproductive and harmful to all parties. And Russia has always been a supporter of maintaining dialogue. In our view and in our conviction, it can contribute to the solution of the most urgent and most complex problems. They will not solve themselves, and confrontation will not help solve them. As for other European capitals, there have been no such initiatives so far.
This is a utility collapse in Vladivostok because of a short circuit and a transformer fire. People were left without electricity, heating and water. This is not because of bombing, but because Putin is spending all the money on the war.
Transformers on our base explode from volts.
It's bursting.
That's it, it went out.
It was torn apart.
Extinguished.
The arc broke.
That's it.
Duggar, did you see her?
Putin is not focused on utility problems. Recently, he met with the mayor of Moscow, who talked about improvements in the environmental situation in the Russian capital.
We had a forecast that the city was growing, which meant that the environment would deteriorate. In fact, the opposite is true. The first is the number of cars that go on the road. It does not increase, and the quality of cars is completely different. Electric cars and hybrids have also appeared there. The fuel has changed, the engines have become different. Plus, public transport has almost completely switched to electric traction. Yes, and in general, the situation is not deteriorating in terms of the environment. On the contrary, it is improving. This is important, by the way.
Right after the environmental situation, the economic situation also started to improve, but only in Moscow. In many other regions of Russia, pipes are bursting and there is no electricity. In the Murmansk and the Irkutsk regions and in the Belgorod region, partial evacuations have been announced.
We have visited a number of our industrial sites and watched how the special economic zone is developing, but in addition to this, both private investors and large companies are developing industrial enterprises. In 2010, there were about 10 million square meters of industrial space, in principle, not the best of many of them. Today it is already 13 million, and this is not bad area. And we expect, and in the coming years, to double the volume of industrial areas almost by 1932. And a number of programs work. There are special programs and integrated development of territories. According to the federal law, we also dictate to developers how many jobs should be created at industrial enterprises. Due to several of these programs, in fact, the city's industry is being recreated, and not only the previous level is reached, but we are moving forward. But the most important thing is not just industry, because we do not want to develop low-margin industry with low labor productivity, but high-tech industry.
Yes, of course.
Meanwhile, Russia has its own reality. Kadyrov said that reports about a car accident involving his son are fake and were created using artificial intelligence.
With artificial intelligence, anyone can be fooled. There have been 128,000 accidents across the country. 13,009 people have died. But no one cares. No one says anything. And then, out of nowhere, the story about Kadyrov's son's accident became the #1 international news story.
Next, I'll show you a video that is shocking in its madness. A Russian woman said she lost her son and grandson in the war and is now asking Putin to take her other son to the war as well. She seems to believe that if he is killed, she will receive compensation.
Vladimir Vladimirovich, I am appealing to you, please help. My father fought, went through 2 wars. I went through the Finnish and Patriotic Wars, returned. My grandson, I raised my grandson myself. I brought him from the hospital, brought him up. He died in the special military operation in the 24th year, on April 25th. And the son died in the 24th year, on the 23rd of September. I received the money. Oh, my son's last cohabitant asked for money for an apartment. I didn't think. She slandered his son. He was 40 years old, slandered that he seemed to harass the girl. He brought them up. We brought them. They did not stand on their feet. They lived badly. And so the son was given 12 years. He wants to go to the NWO like mine. Father, son and grandson. Please, Vladimir Vladimirovich, please help him, please, so that he goes to the special military operation.
Dear viewer, thank you very much for watching this video, for your activity in the comments and for liking the video. Stand with Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. See you next time.